business that isn't making profit, that's pretty redundant. Have there been periods where, you had a creative block and you weren't producing anything? Because the life of your business is dependent on your mind.
Right.
And your mind produces, the creative substance to get you money, right? So has there ever been a period where, there's a dry spell and you have to consolidate and, you have to really look into yourself and say, what's going on?
Well, definitely, I feel like every new business has to maybe it happens where probably in the first year or the second year you're kind of not really making as much as you think.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like in the earlier days of when it was Seora, I would only get business during Ochi weekend and Easter. And
so it was seasonal.
Seasonal, it was very seasonal
at
that point. But when I actually diversified and started styling, it became I got way more projects and so in regards to the creative block, definitely sometimes that happens. But that's why I ensure that the way I do my social media, I always want to look at things in my feed for whatever social media inspires me.
Right.
So sometimes I'll literally just say, okay, now I'm gonna go watch some YouTube videos. I'm gonna go watch a documentary on Saint Laurent. I'm gonna watch something on Christian Dior or whatever, or whoever inspires me, or I'm gonna sit and look at some styles now, and that's why I keep the creative juices flowing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Christian Dior, you mentioned Saint Laurent.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are there any local mentors that you had that channeled you along this path, or was it simply and utterly self-taught?
Oh no, my mom actually taught me how to sew.
Your mom taught you how to sew?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about that story now. What are you...
Oh, honestly, growing up, I was not interested in learning. I was one of the, I used to have textile and clothing. I used to pay my friend to do my homework. I did not have any interest in sewing. Honestly, I had no interest in that. But it's just, as when I got older, I realized that my genuine passion is Jamaican culture, and I genuinely love fashion. So when I started out, I really wanted to be a carnival designer.
Right.
So that's why I started with swimwear, and then through that, I actually got a huge love for creating and fashion on a whole. Mommy, I need to learn how to do more stuff. So she really taught me basically everything.
So she was really the mentor then?
Yeah, let me say that, definitely.
Alright, so let's move on to the Tinyness music concert, because that's a question that I've been wanting to ask you since the start of this now. That concert in itself by Lila Ike was amazing.
Right,
first thing. What she was wearing, crazy. As well, and seeing as though it was you, coincidentally it was you, and we have you on the podcast right now. I want you to really express how you felt designing for an artist on that platform with that much exposure, right? And secondly, how it really changed the perspective of others on your business. Did it?
Honestly, from the jump when I started working with them earlier in the year, it already changed the perspective of my brand and what I do from the beginning. So I feel like when it got to doing the Tinyness, it was really a hallmark, you understand? Oh, this is also, So you're asking how did I feel about it?
Yeah, the platform. On that platform, 800,000 views. And the centerpiece was your design. I mean, how did you feel in that moment?
Honestly, when she told me that she had the Tinyness to do, I was so excited for her, and I was like, okay, we definitely need to do something that's crazy and looks like you, and something along the vibe of what you're going for now. And she just trusted me to come up with the style and everything. I told her the color scheme and everything. She didn't see it before the day. So
she just trusted you straight off the bat?
Yeah, she trusted me to get it done. Yeah, but I let her know okay, it's gonna be a jump up. It's going to be baby pink, but she didn't really know exactly how it looked, no pictures or anything. She came and I was already there with it.
Right.
It was very exciting. Definitely, Tinyness is huge.
Yeah.
It's huge, and hers was actually the first one ever shot in Jamaica.
It was.
Yeah, it was the first one ever shot here. So it was just really it was really surreal knowing that all of these people are going to see it, and it was a huge moment for me, but I was also very excited for her as well.
Right. So has there ever been, because you've been on probably hundreds of sets, right? You've been designed for a lot of artists. Has there ever been like a mishap, like one pin fly off or some tear or something you have to go in and fix it up really quickly? And
alright, so sometimes we don't get to fit before shoots. So, but the great thing is that I also sew, because a lot of stylists don't sew.
Right?
So I'm always equipped on set to like alter, because I've been on a set, a music video set already. The artist, his pants was kind of big, and I had to like sit and take it. But he was also amazed. He's like, wow, this is legit. This official, like stylist thing. I think he was like blown away by it. So, and I feel like even working with that director, like people who were there and seeing that I was able to do that also helped with the credibility part that you mentioned earlier. So that I can actually handle business on the set.
So there's a common misconception that creatives can be, or creatives aren't as good as entrepreneurs, as purebreds. I want you to attack that now, because you seem like you really want to get into that. So why don't you give us your perspective on that and shed some light?
That creatives
aren't as adept as entrepreneurs, as probably like purebreds entrepreneurs, or like people who just dive straight into it. Because there seems to be almost a thin line and a massive line between creatives and entrepreneurs, but I see the two mixing today, right? It's because content creators are now using YouTube as a means to create income, right? That is a business now, right? So I'm saying to you, like, people who are creatives, they're saying that they aren't as adept as being entrepreneurs, and that's the case that you're in right now. You're an entrepreneur and you're creative, right? So I want you to address that. Please, yes.
Okay, so I feel like there's a lot of misconceptions about the creative industry, because let's think about it holistically. A creative is a business in themselves.
Right.
They are their brand. So even if I'm photography is my brand, and that's my business. I'll have rates, I'll have things that I abide by. Just like if you're an entrepreneur and say you're selling tables and you say, okay, I require 50%, but it's run similarly. I feel like because you are physically seeing the person, it's if you think of it differently. So like a business is more seen like an institution, and then you're like looking at a creative that freelances. Like, just to be real. But it's definitely just as serious as if you're a business owner. Literally, because if you can't manage your finances as a creative, you're gonna just be doing work based off passion. So people that you see in our industry that are successful are people who understand how to manage their finances, understand how to price correctly, understand what jobs are worth it, and understand how to go about as a business person. Because it's business etiquette is very important in our industry as well.
Now, humbling experiences tend to develop our personalities as it relates to, whether in business or, as I said, personal lives. Now, what was that humbling experience for you that really almost took you down a notch, but made you see something from a different angle? Was there an instant where that happened, or is it just that while going through, based on your experiences on different shoots, you learned, you adapted, and you thrived?
I feel like every single shoot taught me something. Especially because I'm less than a year into being a stylist, so every shoot I learned something new. Understand? So definitely I feel like the main lesson that I've learned as far as time management. Still working on it.
Yeah, me too.
But it's something that's important. Time management as well as discipline. Because I feel like a lot of people have the conception that if you're a creative, like every day you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be a creative. I'm gonna go make something, or I'm gonna go this, but like if you don't have discipline, as you said earlier, there are dry spells, there are creative blocks. So if you don't have discipline, don't say, oh, I have X client work to do, it needs to happen regardless of me feeling like doing it or not. So it's definitely learning that, okay, I need to have a discipline where I have to focus on the fact that I'm working towards something, I want my business to grow. And that was a lesson I learned as well as I said, time management, because sometimes I have shoots that clash. So this client A and client B don't know about each other. All they know is that I need 5 outfits for both of my shoot. You understand?
Right.
So I have to learn like how am I gonna manage this? Sometimes like earlier on it would have kind of clashed, meaning that maybe I won't be able to fit somebody or something like that. So I'm kind of working on that. So I learned from that to know that I really need to put extra time into or put some leeways for things like this to happen.
And Seora is what you do full time or is it? It's full time. Full time.
I'm at UA. I'm a finance student at UA.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's for my prospect.
It's what you do. Yeah. Definitely. All right. So let's bring this home now because it has been. I don't know anything about the fashion industry or creatives. You just taught me a whole lot, right? So it is value added thus far, and I really appreciate you for that.
Thank you.
So, from the beginning to where you are currently, let's reflect or do some introspection as to, how far you've come, how your style has improved, how your designs have improved, how your mindset has changed along the way. Can you just give us like a basic overview of that? Of how your mindset changed along with, as we spoke about in the previous question, like the experiences, like how your mindset changed with all that.
Honestly, I feel like once I really got into like working with different people, the scale of how I would dream, for lack of a better word, grew. So like, okay, wow, I'm actually seeing now that my business has the potential to be huge. You understand?
Right.
My brand can, pass borders of the Caribbean.
Right.
It can be big, and I feel like my journey has taught me that not to limit myself.
Right.
Really, so that's really the main thing. I think you asked something else.
No man, that's along the lines, and I was talking about the mindset. You said you said that your brand can be bigger than, what was the company?
No, I said past the borders of the Caribbean.
Past the borders of the Caribbean, right? So you're looking global with this, definitely.
Right, definitely.
So as it relates to the global perspective, the global transition, that global transcending brand image, right? Like, tell us where you see Seora in the next 2-3 years.
Okay, where do I see? Okay, honestly, where do I see Seora? I am hoping that it will be something that grows into being something that across the Caribbean is known across the Caribbean, as in the brand name. So what I'm really working on right now is creating a personality for my brand that's identifiable. You look at it and know that, okay, this is Seora, or I want that because I love this aesthetic, or I love the brand. So I definitely want it to be, a norm in the Caribbean, as well as, be something that, outside the Caribbean, people will look and be like that.
It's almost like an icon for Jamaican culture.
Right, definitely.
That's what it would be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Definitely. Because at the end of the day, I really, really, really love Jamaican culture, as I said earlier. Everything I do, even the way I market my stuff, I want it to always highlight something about my Jamaican culture. So, for example, my swim collection that's gonna come out this year, Dreamland. What I did with the trailer and the visuals, because I love to do videos with my pictures. I made sure that I highlighted this lifestyle or this idea of the fact that Jamaica is like a dreamland.
Right.
So it's not like mystical, but it's a reality that you can look at it and be like, okay, I actually want this because I want to feel this energy that's in the video or in the photos, and that's definitely a big part of the work at Seora.
All right, Champagne. This has been, as I said before, an excellent podcast, an excellent bit of knowledge you shared with us on the fashion industry here, the first of its kind. So before we wrap up, just tell the audience how they can contact you, Instagram pages, emails, anything.
Okay, so you can contact me for styling at Shampagne with the S and an X at the end. For clothing, you can go to Seora Co, so that's SEORACO. On Instagram, email is seoraswim@gmail.com.
All right, people. All right. So live from the new studio of Los JA with Champagne here. We're closing out. People, listen to this one. It's unique. It's one of a kind. Check out. Hustle out, Jada. Gone.